My name's Dean from D7 Marine. I've been GRP repairing and colour matching for about 20 years now, so I've picked up quite a few tips on the way. I've taught a lot of people, and I'll try to explain to you the most common problems I see with most people and where they go wrong. Colour matching is not something you're going to learn overnight. It's not going to, you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and watch this video and be able to colour match all boats. It's not going to happen. But what you could do is, if you follow some basic tips, take some time and practice, you should be able to do your own boat, and if you stick with it, within probably 6 months, if you do it regularly as a job, you can get pretty good at it pretty quick, but it does take practice. I think there's four main issues really with people, what they do. Not always they get the right colour to start with, so it depends on the kind of jarrapper you're trying to do. If you've got a chip on your boat, and all you're looking to do is fill it in, not touch it again, then you want to really match the dirty colour that your boat is. I'm not saying you've got a dirty boat, but all boats fade, UV damage and stuff like that, so the colour you're looking at here looks like your nice white boat, but it's not the true colour of your boat underneath. But if all you want to do is put a bit of gel in it, walk away, you want to match this colour. So it's not going to show up, that's kind of your dirty, everyday colour, and it'll be fine. If you're looking to do a proper gel repair, or a big repair, or you want to get some real colour matching skills practice, what you want to do is start getting a true colour in the boat. And to do that, you need to sand and polish up an area. You can see here it's got a lot of white straight away. This will be the true colour now. So we use 240 sandpaper on the machine, 800 on the machine, and then some fast cut polish and polish up an area. That is going to be as good a colour as you can get back to originally without making your gel coat go thin. So this is the first step really. If you're going to look at doing proper gel repairs, you need to get the proper colour done. Second thing is get your colours sorted. People try and match colours and they don't have the right pigments. So we've got a massive array of pigments. Over years we just pick things up and you do it for different colours. If you're going down the white route, you really don't need as many for the whites. So the main colours I would always use would be your black, your red, middle buff, and golden yellow. So that will get you out of jail. Most whites and greys, that's where you're going to be. The lighter colours, so the whites, the creams, the greys, we start with a white gel coat. This is going to be your base, just a Scott Barder 337 white gel coat, and you can put enough pigment with them to get them to most of your colours. If you're going down the blues and the greys and the darker stuff and the blacks, I will do a separate video on that together, because you start with clear there and you add pigment to those, a lot more pigment than what you need to this. So then you'll be looking at adding 4% pigment, and I say if you're trying to match these colours, it's a little bit trickier, so we'll do a separate video on that altogether. Next issue I see is a lot of people, they buy pigment comes in a tub like this. Big pot, they're trying to put it in there, because they get a stick, and they're dropping it in, they're dropping way too much pigment in, it goes too far, then you have to add more white, then they put more pigment to try and get rid of the white, and it's getting a right mess, and it gets sticky, you get covered in it. If you're going to do it regular, get yourself some bottles, you can just squeeze little drops at a time, because that's the key when you're starting. Start at the end, little tiny drops, and just slowly progress through until you're happy with your colour. You can see a progression there of where you're going right, where you're going wrong. If you want to go backwards a bit or forwards, you can just see it a lot better. If you start putting big chunks in too early, it's going to go wrong. In the repair game, a lot of the companies I work for and train people at, they leave it too late to do the colour. So they get a repair in, massive hole in the side of the boat's going to be in for a couple of weeks. They don't even start the colour until the last day. What they do is they smash into it, they start grinding and laminating, doing all the work, get the shape done, make a really nice job of it. Last day, think, right, I've got to gel this now, where's the colour? Then they start saying, no, can you come and help me, we need your colour, we haven't got time to test it. What you want to do, if you're doing a big repair, is do a test on the boat. So all boats got scratches and dings somewhere. So start matching your colour really early on. When you're doing your grinding stage of the boat, when you're laminating, really early, start mixing your colour up. Then what you can do is you can find a little scratch on the boat, do a little gel repair with that colour, have a look at it. It might not be perfect, but if you think that's gone a little bit dark, right, put a bit more white with that, carry on with your repair. By the time you get to do your gelling, you may have tested it 2 or 3 times on little chips around the boat. The owner's happy, he's had a few chips done for nothing. You're happy, you've got a perfect colour, so nothing can really go wrong with that. But I say don't leave it too late. Colours go a little bit wrong, so people put too much black in, then you've got to kind of put white in, so you do need a little bit careful with the certain colours. Yellow is really strong. Yellow is going to get you in trouble if you drop too much of that in. If you do put too much in, you can put a bit of black in and it kind of counteracts the yellow a little bit. but in doing so, it will make it a darker shade. So then you have to put some white back into it as well. So you do have to be a little bit careful. So the best thing to do is just go really slow and steady, small drop, mix it in, put a little tester on here, and just slowly work through, and you'll gradually see it getting better and better. They look really white at the moment, but as soon as you put an actual true white on there, you'll see that it's not actually that white at all. So different colours do different things. If you've got a colour, a lot of whites are pinky whites, but you don't think that until you start putting white on there, but you realise it looks a little bit pink, so you put a tiny amount of red in. If you go too far, you can counteract the red with a bit of green. A tiny amount of green will kind of balance the red out a little bit, but again, it's gone a darker shade, so then you will want to put a little bit of white back with it as well. So these are going to be the basics you need to follow. I will show you how to do it on this one. I say, however, you can't just copy what I do, because this will be different to anything you do. So you need to really take it on board, take it slowly, and just literally start in the corner of your polished area and slowly put little bits on, and we'll gradually get closer, and I'll see if we can. This should be a fairly straight colour for me, because we've done a lot of these before. You do get used to boats. A Beneteau, for instance, we would probably use those two on a Beneteau. On some of the J boats, we'd certainly use the middle buff. Middle buff's a good one because it makes a boat, it just takes the edge off. It makes like a little bit of a dirty tinge to it, which a lot have. If you're doing a Fairline or a Princess, they're built in straight white, so Scott Barter white, that's what they come as. So if you're doing a boat in the first 6 months, that will probably match. Anything after that, or depending on where it's been, if it's been done in Med or it's been somewhere hot, it's likely going to just be tarnished a little bit. So then you'll be looking at maybe putting a small drop of buff, small drop of black in there. But again, small drops, take it really steady. And if you're doing anything big, certainly do a tester first on something small. Okay? I'm going to start to add some pigment now. To do a colour like this, I would probably imagine it would take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you're new to it, I would allow 30 minutes, half an hour, I'd say, and even a tester. Even though it's not a massive repair we're doing on this rudder, do a tester, because the repair may be that big, but if it's the wrong colour, it'll stand out like a sore thumb. And yeah, for the sake of doing a tester, jumping on something else, doing another job, then coming back to this, it's always worth doing. I would probably put my pigments in a little bit quicker than other people, just because I know roughly how much it's going to take. But start with small amounts. And the first thing you do, you want to put your white on there, just to see what kind of colour we're up against. I'll put the camera over in a minute just so you can see exactly. So this isn't too far off white. You can see there straight away, but it does look brilliant white against something a little bit darker. So straight away I'm thinking, right, we need some black. So a couple of little drops of black. It's like literally drop. So the more you do it, the more confident you get with the colours, the more you can start tipping a bit more. And in some boats, as I say, you get used to, you know straight away it's going to be black and red, so we can put that in before we even start. But because you never know the history of boats really, you don't know where they've been. If you're repairing boats for a job, they could have been anywhere in the world. So what you've done last week, sometimes we keep gel coats if we do like a Beneteau or something like that, certain types, but it doesn't always match the next one anyway, because it could have just come back from somewhere else. So little drop of black, put it next to it. Still too low. Again, I'll put 2 drops in this time, because I know it's going to take a little bit more than this, but if you are doing this for your first time or quite new it, just take your time. If you haven't got patience, you're never really going to be a colour matcher, because sometimes you need to just sit and do it for, it might take an hour, it might take 2 hours. But what people seem to forget is, this is the bit that's going to let you down. You can make a perfect repair on a boat, you can do it structurally sound, you can do everything right, everything true. If you get the colour wrong, as soon as an owner or a customer walks up the boat, you're in trouble anyway, because they can see it a mile off. So it doesn't matter how good your structural repairs are, if you get the colour wrong, it's the first thing everyone will notice. So that's looking a lot darker now, but it looks too black. So now I'm going to try, before the yellow's quite drastic, but it does need to go to the dirtier side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with the buff first, just a little bit more forgiving. Little drop of that in there. Also, every time you mix it, really mix it round. Make sure you get anything off the edges, because if you put that drop of buff in, a little bit got stuck to the edge. I carry on and mix up my colour really well, and then on the last mix, I scrape the edges round, scrape that bit of buff in. Suddenly, you just added too much pigment to a colour where you would have been good. So make sure you clean your stick off every time. Make sure you clean right around the edges every time. Like I say, it's just the little things that will kind of get you in trouble. So I think it's going to need a little bit of yellow in, but again, this is a really strong colour. This is a golden yellow. Just a tiny drop of that. You see straight away the yellow tinge is so much stronger than the black and the buff that's gone in. I'll do it with my finger, just rubbing it out. When you see the big lump, the lump of pigment, the lump of gel coat on there, sorry, the light catches it, and you kind of see a light bit and a dark bit and a light bit and a dark bit, like the shadows over the top, so you kind of want to see it flat against the rest of the job. So you can either use your finger like that, and that's looking somewhere near now. Then there's a tester. If you can scrape your stick through the middle, you can see, I'll bring the camera over and then show you, you can see through, and they're looking pretty close. So I would say it's tiny bit more buff going in there. When I'm getting really close now, I'll get a spreader and I'll put a bigger lump on, because these smaller lumps are fine because we're trying to see where we're going, but as you're getting to the right end of the scale, you're getting close, you want to look at it as something a little bit bigger, a little bit more obvious to see how it's going to show up, how the repair itself is going to look. So I'll put a little bit of a bigger bit on. And again, I can see the differences in the colour. It's the same colour, but with the shadows of the bumps, it just kind of throws your eye a little bit. So if we get a spreader, we can just spread it out and kind of fade it out onto the job. So that's the colour I've made. Just spread it out on the job. And if I get the camera on that now. So here's my first one. This was the white. I say they looked very similar when they're in the pot, but when you put it on, you can actually see it's quite a bit different. And then we just put a bit of black, a little bit more black, bit of yellow, bit of buff, and we slowly crept along until we get to here, which is where I've put my colour, and I've smudged it out a little bit further, and you can see, you can't see that. So if I was doing a big repair on a boat, I would still test that again. That wouldn't be good enough. I'd do a little chip and just make sure I'm happy, but for the kind of size of the repair on this boat, I'd say that's good. The other thing you can do with this is go outside and have a look, because in natural light they do sometimes look a little bit different, and when you are outside colour matching, same principles, but I always wear sunglasses because it just takes the glare out of it. When you're staring at white boats all day, it does get a bit glary and it's really hard to see what's what. So that is the basics for this one. I say that it's good enough colour match. I can see that will be good for this repair, but yeah, if you're doing anything much bigger than a kind of a shoebox, it's going to stand out quite a lot. So yeah, you really need to think about testing it. So this repair, we used the gel coat we matched on the top here to do a gel coat on the bottom. I'm just going to quickly buzz through and sand and polish this repair now, just so I can show you the colour and how it all went. The gel repair itself, I will do a separate video altogether on how to do a gel repair, like the preparation, the application, everything like that. Again, dead simple, anyone can do it. A few simple tips, make it easy for yourself, stop blowing through at the end,
But I'll go through that as another video altogether. So this is just quickly, just to show you the colour and how it's all worked out. So I'll give it this sand and polish. We've been through some basic sandpapers, a few techniques which I'll go through on other videos later. All I want to show you is with a 5-minute colour test, if you've got the right colours, you take your time, you kind of practice things, you can get colours to go in like this on a gel coat boat very simply. So I'm going to take it outside, do some detailing to finish it up. But hopefully you can see everything's really achievable. I haven't done anything special, just use some basic tools, taking my time, and you can get colour match done fine. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you got some good tips out of it and you understand what we're trying to achieve when we say these bits and bobs. Hopefully it's clear enough on the video you can see, but we will be doing more videos anyway. So what I do, that was the basic colours. We're going to do greys, blues, blacks, more whites, because they are all different. Your boat will be totally different to what we were trying to achieve. So some are more obvious than not. That was quite white to start with, so you couldn't really see as much as you would do, say, with the greys and other things like that. But yeah, give us a like if you like the video and hit subscribe, because we're going to do lots more videos. We've got a carbon bowsprit coming up for summer. We do a lot of rudder rebuilds. We're going to do just normal jowl repairs, star crazy, all your day-to-day kind of repairs, bit of copper coat, anything like that. But yeah, that's what we do. We just fix boats all week long. So every week we try and upload a new video just so you can kind of see things, and I'm sure something will be relevant to you at some point. I'd say they're all handy tips if you're a boat owner. Most boat owners are practical people. They want to be involved in their own boat. So yeah, there's no reason why, if you're a practical person, if you follow the basic rules, listen to a few pointers, we'll show you what tools to use, why you can't achieve the same thing yourself. It may not be as fast as what we do, but still, if you're an owner and you're just happy to do your own boat, you should be able to pick enough information up off this to get through a repair and do it yourself. So yeah, give us a like and hit subscribe, and we'll see you in some more videos.